So, with the season 2 of Crusader now out on Amazon, I feel like we should talk about it. I know it's been almost a month since it's come out, but not a lot of people have really been talking about it, or not that I've actually seen. And so I think it's time that me, 13-year-old that has too much ball knowledge about DC, comes into it. So I'm not going to be going through each episode, but I will be going through like most of it anyway, pulling out a few details that I realized, and overall the experience of watching it. So to start off with episode 1, which is quite interesting because it literally continues off where season 1 finished, and shows Rupert Thorne back in town, of course, being on trial and stuff. And well, it's interesting because like I expected a slow start, but they brought you right into the action and right into the whole everything of the first episode, right? So starting off with the fact that Batman fights a Solomon Grundy type guy, and well, Thorne's got a new I want to say partner, which is of course Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler. And I'm also going to be talking about a few character designs that have been changed within the series of, well, have their own unique style in this Caped Crusader season 2 compared to, like, of course, the original comics you might see. So starting off with Riddler looks more like a terrorist, a gang member, if you might say. He's got, of course, his hat, a nice sort of blazer and suit, and a Tommy gun, which I'm surprised what they did with this Riddler. I expected him to have brains, but instead they decided to go with a different approach and more give him like a terror stack, something like a crime lord. And it's kind of disappointing because, well, it's the Riddler. He's meant to be the smartest Batman villain, right, in, well, Batman's rogues. So I really expected him to be a lot smarter, but he's literally just an idiot with an anger issue, killing off people for fun, literally just falling for any girl that looks like a baddie. But like, seriously, I'm gonna be completely honest, they messed Riddler up really badly. I like the Riddler, but they messed the sort of, like, he's meant to be smart, he's meant to give Batman riddles, that's why his name's Riddler. But no, they made him more of a terrorist, if anything. But that's only one character change. I feel like they've changed almost every single character within the series, from Joker to Scarecrow to even a Poison Ivy like character. But I think the second character that had the biggest change was probably the Joker. The Joker, I'm gonna be honest, the Joker in this series actually scared me. Like, this is probably the second scariest Joker I've seen. The first scariest was absolute Batman's Joker. That thing was diabolical monster, man. But I genuinely think that this one probably scared me a lot, because it was like a year. Basically, the Caped Crusader is kind of like the first few years of Batman. So you have, of course, the old gen characters like Rupert Thorne, and of course the Joker, year 1, and even Mr. Freeze, which I'll get on later. But the Joker definitely scared me, as in, this guy did not laugh until like the last episode. He was mostly hidden, and he had like a deep, like, scary sort of voice. It definitely did not hit a Joker vibe for me, because when I think of Joker, of course I think of a clown. I think of this one guy that is evil and sadistic, but is still making jokes. Even in the face of death, he's still making jokes. But I don't know, it's it scared me a little bit, especially since like his plan. He this was probably like one of the smartest Jokers ever. His plan was actually really smart. But yeah, so after season 1, towards the end of after season 1, towards the start of season 2, episode 1 or episode 2, I think, at the end, Joker manages to infiltrate the limo that Rupert Thorne is taken to after the trial, and of course his son. And then, well, obviously he manages to hit him with Joker gas, which is interesting because Joker gas isn't the same way you think it would be, like as it says Joker gas. It's more of a, you sting, like inject it into the person. So that's pretty much what the Joker did to Rupert Thorne. And when he got into the limo, he was right next to his son, and well, of course started laughing to death. Same for his son. We don't really get much chat about his son dying, but I'm pretty sure within the last episode or the episode before, Joker does actually say how he killed both Thorne and his predecessor and his successor. So that's why I think that his son's dead. So I think the next character change we need to talk about is Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze is a big iconic character, but before Mr. Freeze was called Mr. Freeze, he had a different name, and I had to do a little bit of research into it because I didn't really know that much about it. It was more of an olden time Batman villain name, a little bit like, of course, Thorne, which again another character I'm gonna get to, but his name was Mr. Zero at the time, which is kind of crazy because I was like, hey, isn't that Mr. Freeze? And then I had to search up, and I was like, oh, Mr. Zero, Mr. Zero. So later on, within afterwards, Detective Comics, I don't remember what issue specifically, they changed his name to Mr. Freeze. And his suit is definitely a lot different to the Cape Crusader as well, because Mr. Zero has a yellow and purple sort of look, instead of like of course a Mr. Freeze being blue, black, and sometimes even purple. But they changed it a lot, so they kind of made it like a guy, instead of a mechanical suit, he's in a lovely suit and tie and stuff, and I think he's got a voice box. I don't know what's happened to his actual voice, but he's got a voice box, and I don't know what's happened to his brain, because it looks like he's got a freezer on his brain, or an ice pack, or his brain's been like put into Sub-Zero or something. But it is definitely interesting because this isn't the same like Victor Freeze that you would see within the normal Batman universe, being trying to cure his like wife or something. Nah, this Mr. Freeze, this one would actually, he would kill people, or he would find like dead bodies and stuff, and then he would freeze them in, of course, cold nitrogen, and make them his quote unquote masterpiece, which I guess sounds so crazy and sadistic in a way, right? But yeah, that's Sub-Zero, I suppose, within the DC universe. And I seriously thought they were gonna keep him. Also he's black, which I actually like Mr. Freeze being black. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, yeah, skin color don't matter, right? But like, it is definitely interesting seeing Mr. Freeze like that, because it's same for like Jim Gordon and Barbara Gordon. They're both a different skin color, and it's interesting. It really gives the Cape Crusader, or the universe of that universe, like more depth in a way, and makes the universe itself a little bit more unique. Another thing is Harley Quinn. So in normal Batman DC media, Harley Quinn's usually part of Joker's squad in a way, and she idolizes Joker, she loves Joker, she wants to be everything with him. But the thing is, I feel as This one definitely was a lot different. This one just became a bad guy by herself. Of course, her whole costume is changed from red and white and black to yellow, yellow, black, and white. So it's definitely interesting. And I'm gonna be honest, this Harley Quinn is a lot more darker in a way. I think every character in this series is definitely a lot more darker. So yeah, and then it's actually interesting because she is with Detective Renee Montoya, which is interesting because I didn't know. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know Montoya moves like that. I knew Harley Quinn was like that. I just didn't know she was like that, Montoya. But in the episode with Harley Quinn, you also see another person that gets another character redesign, which is Crane, the Scarecrow. And this one is interesting because usually you see Jonathan Crane being the Scarecrow, but this one was not Jonathan Crane. It was Jonathan Crane Jr. And that was really, really interesting. I was like, But yeah, the character redesign, it's a redesign, but it's not that big of a redesign. It's pretty much just a gas mask that it's a little bit like the Telltale series design, in my opinion. But it's the same thing. I just think the episode was a bit rushed. I feel like Batman was only gassed once, and usually when you see Batman being gassed, it like takes him a while to get used to the fear, and then it's only the second time he gets gassed he overcomes it. But this series, Batman gets gassed once and he overcomes it within 5 to 10 seconds, which is weird because I expected Batman to have more of a fear. But yeah, you see Renee Montoya keeping Harley Quinn undercover and stuff, hiding a fugitive as a police officer. It's weird. But yeah, so the next character I want to move on to is Thorn. I don't know that much about Thorn because she's an old Batman rogue, and at first I thought it was Poison Ivy, but Rose and Thorn, yeah, nah, they're two different people, two different personalities anyway. But I don't know how to explain how she is. She is like a Poison Ivy villain because she poisons people, especially with her like lasso thing that doesn't really poison you, just knocks you out for a bit. But she's like a proper bad one, and well, eventually ends up killing Edward Nygma for killing her father. And the way she kills him is really smart. She gets together with him with her second personality, right? Lures him back to the place where her father died, their flower shop, makes this like big heart thing out of flowers, and then kills him right when he sees it, and it says like, "Go to hell, Eddie." And I really thought it was like, damn. But anyway, she leaves Gotham anyway. But I think that's everything I want to cover. Another thing I wanted to say is Matches Malone is in a episode, and this, I love Matches Malone because one of my favorite Arkham games is Arkham Shadows, and I know a little bit of Matches Malone. I know that he's pretty much just the undercover Batman when he goes undercover for when he wants to intervene and interact with supervillains without them knowing that it's, of course, Bruce Wayne or Batman. So yeah, I really do like Matches Malone, and I do think this version of Matches Malone was pretty cool to see. He didn't look completely different, although I'm pretty sure Matches Malone has blonde hair. I'm pretty sure Bruce stuck to his regular dark grey hair. Anyway, so moving on to another episode is, I don't know too much about this, but it's like a cult, a Batman cult in a way, called BATZAYDS, and this is really interesting because I've heard of a cult that symbolizes Batman, but I've never really seen it within animated shows. So once I actually watched this episode, it was pretty cool to see like a whole clan of Batman, a little bit like a ninja clan that a little bit like in Batman Ninja. So it was pretty cool to see. One thing I had a big problem with though was Joker. Not him being creepy or anything, but he had a German accent, and it became really obvious towards the end of episode 10, when he started saying stuff like "za," and you could hear it. It sounded so German, but I don't know, because the actor who plays the Joker isn't German, he's American, but they gave him a German accent. So it was weird in a way. But I did like at the end how after he's impaled, he starts laughing, and he's like really crazy, and starts calling Batman brother, and Batman's so freaked out about it that towards the end he's like, "Nah, Jim, you have to find his body. That's it." But anyway, yeah, that's exactly what I thought of season 2 of Cape Crusader, and I can't wait for season 3. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and yeah, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and yeah, goodbye.